The Omid and Kojo Show.
Welcome back to the Omid and Kojo Show. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and do all that good stuff. And if you're watching live, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a live sampler review of what was meant to be SHOSEI Zen and Ethan, but I think now it's just going to be Zen and Ethan. So, yeah. Got anything to add, my mate?
Let's have a look at some mental flips, see what we think. I haven't seen Ethan's sampler. I have seen the SHOSEI one and the Zen one. I haven't seen Ethan's yet though, so
I found SHOSEI's. Okay. So do you want to start with Ethan?
Yeah, go on, crack it on.
Okay, let's have a look. Here.
Oh, we got Aaron Skelly in the chat. Young Skelly legger.
There we go. Oh, I'm going to be covering a lot of it, so apologies.
Yeah. You got big Omid in the way.
My big fat head's in the way. Yeah, my first time watching this was today, and it was phenomenal.
Is it a bus?
Yeah, this gainer front swings are so good.
Yeah, I'm loving Ethan's
so good
at the moment. They just look nice. Look at him go. Oh, what's he doing?
Oh, it's so good. I think all of this was filmed in one session as well, which is nuts. The things he's doing. How is he swung out of that snapper?
I don't know how he caught that.
It's so
and I don't know how he's landing. But that's a crazy thing, though. Like, when you're so used to a move, then you can kind of squeeze it round, even if you're like a half off. When most people would fall down, you know, if you're like learning it. But then when you can already do it, you can still clutch it.
You got enough awareness and strength. Yo, also that shuriken cutter was busted. It looked so good, and the box cutter at the end was beautiful.
Well, it's Ethan Turner's box cutter is what made me want to train it, because
really?
I've never been good at them. But yeah, the reason I've been working on them loads is because of his. Damn, the triple cork swing.
Yeah. So
good. Is he gonna dub that?
Yeah. Bro. Oh, it's so good. Ethan is really fucked up, like crazy fucked up.
Yeah, I love the way his tricks look as well.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to
gotten so much better
again. Yeah,
because you know it's gonna be busted.
The Swinder swing.
Swinder. The double swined.
These. Whoa.
The border slice.
Ethan Turner horror point. Oh, that's Jacob Orion Hunter. Like Hunter? What's his last name?
Huntington.
Huntington, there it is, yeah. The old faithful.
Oh, we got a little Matt Strange in the chat.
Boy.
Champion of the UTX online competition.
What's he doing?
That was trip swing cork.
Trip swing cork. Switch.
What's he got?
To the cork snap. He's just pissing that out. I'd love to see that in person. Just him doing that.
Have you seen? I was gonna say I've never seen a triple cork swing in person, but I have. I think SHOSEI's triple cork swing cork snapper at Hooked. I saw. Have you seen one in person?
I don't think I have.
It's rare. Like,
yeah, maybe I have. Who? No, I don't think I have. No.
Damn.
I don't know. This shuriken cut front swing though. He's so good at front swings.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just managed to like replicate that shape.
Well, yeah, Ethan just tricks a lot. I think he's up there as one of the people who tricks the most out of everyone. Like, I think Ethan's up there with Johan for like how much he tricks. And then I guess a load of the Japanese. If it would be cool if you could just see the stats, like how much every trick, who are the top 10 in terms of how many tricks they do per week. I wonder if they'd all be Japanese. I feel like Ethan would probably get in the top 10. Probably Johan too. Maybe, I don't know how much Alexander tricks at the moment. I know he normally tricks a lot.
Wait,
but mostly Japanese, I think.
Someone said Alexander did it with you guys at the gym. Did he? When?
I think he did.
Did
I
he?
think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed me with
I
that
don't
one.
know. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, I lose. I've seen so many flips at this point.
Yeah.
I can't remember every one of the flips. I
Well,
don't.
Matt said no. No, he didn't. Did he try though? Like, I know he didn't land like trip dub or anything like that while he was
Yeah.
there. But did he try trip swing? I can't even remember. Someone's
Yeah, I've
saying
no
yeah.
idea.
Oh, he did triple cork swing cork. Zenix tricking says. I kind of do feel like that happened. I feel like that did happen. When we were
Where?
there. When he, like, one of the first sessions at UTX when he was staying at ours.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. He did loads of. It's hard to remember because it's like he knocked out quad cork and he did cork in.
And he did cork in,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so we were kind of a bit more focused on that. But he was tricking so good when he was staying at our house and sleeping 16 hours a day.
I know, it's so crazy.
I've never seen anything like it. The amount that man sleeps.
Yeah. But back to Ethan Sanders' sampler. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yeah, really good angles as well.
Yeah, I really like the
well
filming of that one.
I'd love to make a well-filmed sampler, but it's so hard to have someone to film you.
Yeah.
You know. But maybe when we're back in the gym, we could do 1-for-1. Maybe we could film a duo sampler, filming each other.
I'm desperate to do a duo sample because we were talking about it before lockdown, and
Yeah.
now lockdown's over. Well, yo, actually,
Dude.
did you see that today? The gym
Isn't it 25th of July?
25th. Yo, that's gonna be game changer. I'm about to get so big. My quads are gonna look like pregnant hippos. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's what you need. It's
Gonna
about
get-
time, you know.
Massive hippo legs.
Because they've been looking like not pregnant hippos for the longest
No.
time. You
No,
know,
it's
just
not
regular
okay.
old hippos. Anorexic hippos, actually. Like,
Hey.
unwell, undernourished
don't-
hippos.
Don't just cuss me out in front of all these people, please.
Hey, they're still hippos. They're still hippopotamus. I don't know how to say. What's the plural for hippopotamus?
Hippopotami.
Is it that? Or is it hippopotamuses? Or
Hippopotami.
I don't know. We're trying to answer the big questions here. If you
Yeah,
know,
so-
let us know in the comments.
Of this tricking podcast.
We're not sure. We're not sure, and we need to know. Matt said a whole UTX samp. I'd be down. That would be cool. If when we came
would be
back
cool.
to the gym, if we had a hype session with like a bunch of us there, and we all kind of filmed each other, and then made a hype sampler of all the best clips, and maybe if we get some pre-workout at the session, and
if we're doing that, if we did it over the course of a week, I feel like we could make something pretty sick. Like the first week back, I feel like, okay, if we used your camera. Oh wait, actually, I think I'm gonna be getting my camera fixed soon.
Oh, nice.
So if my camera's fixed, or if it's not fixed in time, then we use your camera, my gimbal. Could be great. Could be really
Try and get
great.
some sick angles, get everyone's best stuff. Oh, I'm totally down for that. That'd be so sick.
If we could do it so it was like a proper project where we've got two people filming the tricks from different angles, or we get the same combo done multiple times so that you can like cut away into different shots with different lenses and stuff like that. That would be great. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I think the angles are really important. That's one thing that I do. I mean, I know there's plenty of time, so I don't feel too bad about it. But I'm sad sometimes because I think, the thing is, all of my best combos are filmed badly because I do my best combos when I'm fully focused on the session. And when I'm fully focused on the session, either I'm filming myself or I don't have time to be trying to direct someone to film me all carefully because I'm in the session trying to get my best combo. But I think
one thing you and I should do better, because there have been a lot of times where like one of us is having an incredible session and the other person is having an awful session. I think we should, I don't know, if we could like really kind of help each other in those moments when whoever's having the great session, the other one just kind of helps facilitate that, like helps them focus and like films things really well for them. I think it would just be much more beneficial for us. But the only problem is then it affects that training and shit. And I'm not.
The cameraman just has to be creative themselves. Like I try to do that with your clips, and unless I'm like too it's hard when I am focused in the session too because I'm pretty gassed out. But when I'm not going super hard, I do try and make them as engaging and interesting as possible. But yeah, we should do that UTX sampler thing with JJ and Matt and J Knight and who else tricks at UTX? Get some Jamar mental clips in there. And fling
We've got
himself
to get a super
speed
slow
along.
mo gimbal clip of him landing on his chest from missing his feet entirely from doing cartwheel miss leg into like Webster, but landing straight on his chest with the super slow mo as his chest hits the ground. He bounces back up.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. All right. Should we look at the next sampler? We got
yeah,
some
the next one.
Japaneses to look at.
The next one is the first minute of Shosei's tricks in his most recent video.
All right. Got
It's all
very nice.
kinds of busted.
Lovely hoodie. All right. Oh no.
He's jumping so well.
I want to trick on that floor. It looks amazing.
I haven't tricked on the red one, but the blue one is ridiculous.
Do you think it's even better than the blue one? Because it's newer.
I feel like it's probably just exactly
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Look at that.
Imagine that.
Imagine showing this to someone in like 2010.
I know.
So fake. Would you count that double cork snap?
Huh?
Would you count that double cork snap if you do? Yeah.
I don't really know. I'd have to watch it again. From first look, probably nah. But I would have to watch it again.
This shit's mental.
Oh no.
It just looks like a triple. He's just a twister head.
Whoa.
So busted. He'll do that on grass. I think any day now he could do the world's first grass quad cork.
Yeah. Right, so let's do the second part of this video. Practice time. That aerial, whoa! Look at him jumping. Oh, I'd love to see him do like hyper double cork to triple B.
Like in a combo. I want to see him do mega aerial like miss leg triple B because he could do that. He could. Like, he could do that.
Whoa! How is his knee okay? How is his knee okay?
It's just fine.
I don't know though. Like a lot of people were landing triple corks in a sketch way for a while, and then they just had to like hold it and fix it.
Then they got the axis. Yeah.
Yeah.
His tricks are getting his technique's getting much better on things.
Well, I was thinking this. His tricks are Nelson's just like he's 15.
yeah.
But I was thinking about this when watching this footage. His tricks are looking different. I feel like, and there's a lot of Shosei footage, but I feel like maybe he's getting a little bit bigger.
Look at that!
Wow.
They're just getting nicer and nicer. Like yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll look in a few years because they'll be like perfectly clean. I think he'll go the same way as Mike Guthrie did, and his tricks they're all going to be perfect as well as being the hardest tricks ever in a few years. I think he'll have like the best kicks and the best everything. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to happen.
Right, what's going on here? Why is this not working?
It's just playing again. Let's see what some of these comments are saying. One of them said, this guy isn't self-taught. Like, yeah, he's not. So, I don't know. Anything interesting?
Someone said slow-mo guys would have a field day with tricking.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, yeah.
If it was the right person, I feel like you'd need someone kind of, I don't know, relatively beefy with I don't know. I feel like it would be super impressive to see someone's quads and calves in like super high def, super slow-mo as they're taking the impact and taking off the tricks, just to see what their quads are looking like. Because I bet
well, just well-filmed tricks like Shosei tricking in super slow-mo, it would be cool just to watch because you pick up on a load of things that you normally miss. You know, like little bits of his technique and like his shoulder positioning and his elbows and takeoffs and stuff and where he's looking. Like you'd notice a load of things you don't. But, there's one of these questions is actually pretty interesting. It's, what would you guys be doing tricking-wise if you had the same technical level as him? Because I think that's a really interesting question because I do very, very different things. Because with that skill level, there's no, and the amount he's already demonstrated that he can do, there's no need for him to be doing, like, most of the combos he does are kind of versions of combos that have been done in the past, but like on crack. They're like just made way harder, which is awesome. And I get that, like, that's his goal and stuff. But if it was me, I'd probably want to be focusing more on like these combos that are kind of decked out. Like every trick in the combo is super like mental. So like it's got a big helicopter in, and then vanish into like a rodeo side swipe semi, front swing envigado, punch full frappe or something. I'd want to like have multiple really crazy variations in a row and try and build combos just around crazy variations, because with all of his power and with some double flips in there and stuff, but I wouldn't even need to go to the top level of his range, like quad full variations and stuff, because I feel like under the level of triple full, there's so many different variations you could do, and it'll be really interesting to see whole combos filled with those variations.
I get that, but I feel like it would be kind of hard at a certain point, because you kind of just be like spoiled for choice. You'd be like paralyzed. Yeah, you'd be paralyzed with options because you can't. So you just kind of, I feel like it would be so much fun to be able to just walk in the gym and just be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but it's going to be fantastic. And just be able to bust out whatever you feel like doing at any given session. If obviously, like, even just to the point where you're not necessarily trying to push yourself, you're just trying to play around with all the stuff that you've already done. You could just do so much. I feel like that would be really exciting. But for me, I feel like I'll probably go a similar route to what you explained, but maybe more. What you say? Sorry.
Just probably some different tricks. Like
Yeah. Maybe more like in my kind of field of interest, like with the tricks that I currently do. It would probably just be like that kind of stuff, but with more power tricks and more of everything. Like I'd be doing like full cobra twist cobra and shit. You know what I mean? Like and try and like frappe vanish GMS twist or fucking, I don't know, just crazy combination. It's hard to think because it's so far removed from the way that I have to think about tricks because of the skill set that I have. So
just think about like the time he has in the air and the control and power. You could do like a full cobra and then twist, but the cobra you could do like a double rodeo grab. So imagine you do like a really high tucked full, come out of it, but grab both legs and double rodeo and then pull in and twist again. Or come out double rodeo and then like half turn into semi and front swing into some madness. Just all kinds of madness.
Front swing into armbar. Because body's going to be fine.
Yeah, there's just so much you could do. Oh, here's an interesting question as well. Do you guys think that girl trickers can have as much power as SHOSEI? And I think probably not, just based off of like biological reasons.
Yeah, just genetic.
Not as much like raw explosive power. But I do think, and I think this is just totally untapped in tricking, I think female trickers do have the potential to do combos that are just as amazing, just in a different way. I think flexibility is the key. That's what women really have over men. They can get much more flexible. So I'd love to see that used, like a load of different tricks done, but in full split. Like think if you did like even a scissor round or something, if it was done so it's full split scissor, full split round. It's like you could just make all kinds of things look so, it would look like a whole nother movement.
Well, my biggest kind of thing with watching, and it's not based off agenda or anything like that. It's just like if it doesn't matter what people are doing, but if they're doing it in kind of a weak manner, I don't really enjoy watching it, especially to the extent I enjoy watching that raw power of someone. Just like if they're doing a round kick, I want it to be like fucking bah, like cracking out. And like if you were gonna do scissor round and stuff like that, even someone like Mason Rowley, even though it's all super floaty and flowy and like he looks like he is a leaf just kind of billowing in the wind, you can still see the power on the takeoff and the landing and all that kind of thing. So I think that's the biggest disconnect between most girl trickers and the skill sets that could work in their favor. It would just be like if you increase the power level a little bit, and I don't even necessarily mean like do higher level tricks. I mean just the raw explosive ability that their body puts out. I think if they can just get a little bit more of that, then it would be a lot more exciting for me to watch. But I don't think they're ever gonna.
It's totally possible.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because like, yeah, I always say like, look at female gymnasts. Obviously, there is a little bit of there is a difference between the highest level male gymnast and the highest level female gymnast, but it's nowhere near what the current deficit is within the tricking community, and that's mainly probably just a numbers thing, because the percentage of women to men in tricking is fucking ridiculous.
It's just so male dominated that obviously, just statistically, the chances of one of them being really good is much lower. But I think, and we've talked about this before, but I think it's all going to change once there's a leader, once there's a girl who's like unapologetically into the tricks. Like they're not doing it for stunts. They're not doing it for like sport karate tournaments. They just love tricking and they want to get as good as possible. I think when that girl comes along, then she'll like inspire a lot of other girls to do the same. We just don't quite have that yet. Like we do. I mean, like people like Olivia Rando pushes it, but we need someone to be, and I'm not saying she won't be in the future, like anyone could. Nelson says Thelma, but and she's really good. I know she injured herself, but when she's back, but they need to be like, you need someone who's a personality in the community as well.
Well, I said
really
before,
enthusiastic, and they encourage other people to do the same. They're like vocal about it.
I said before, imagine if there was like the female YouTube tricker. Like I
think that will happen.
If they were putting stuff out and they were like actually putting the personality into it, and they were really vocal about the things that they were doing and like the things that they enjoy about tricks, and like with YouTube you can connect with so many people and you can get so many people to see you that it could inspire like an actual like female revolution where it's just like, if it were to pick up enough steam and enough traction, it could get so many more women into tricking, which I think would be great as a whole.
Nelson says maybe Caitlin Deschelle, first female tricker. Someone else said Mackenzie Emery. Now, like you need someone who's like really.
You need someone who's just like addicted to it.
They need to be just self-motivated and passionate about it. They're not going to just not train for months or years at a time because they don't want to. Like someone who's consistently just loves it and sets an example for all the other girls. And that will happen. That will happen. I believe it will. I thought it would happen sooner, honestly, because like 5 years ago, I was thinking like, that's going to happen. And then it didn't. But I think it will happen eventually.
Well,
someone's going to put the effort in.
I'm quite shocked at the amount of young female trickers there are in the UK. I feel like it probably rivals the amount of young male trickers there are in the UK, to be honest with you. Like
there are quite a lot,
There's a lot, and like I find it really, because I'm teaching one girl in particular that I'm really excited about, Scarlett. She's probably watching right now, but she's she's killing shit, and I feel like she has the potential physically, as most people do. Because as long as you're not like, physically inept, then you got the potential. And working on the mental side of things, she's really making great strides. And like, I can see that she loves it, because for me, that's the most important thing. Once you get that one girl that absolutely adores it, because when you really love something, it doesn't matter what else is going on. Like, it doesn't matter if all your friends at school are doing this, that, and the other, and you're like, I don't know, like you're missing out on stuff. Because like for both of us and most people, you kind of miss out on a bunch of different things in one area, but you gain in this whole other area, because if it weren't for tricking, then I wouldn't have made a bunch of all of the friendships that I've got within tricking. And, it's like, it's a trade-off, but it's harder.
I don't know. I always just think when someone loves it as much as me, or if they love it, you wouldn't need to love it that much. Maybe like 70% as much, then we're golden. But that's not happened yet. I've not met one anywhere in the world. And I've met, I'd say, all of the best ones, or most of them at least. Yeah. But it will happen at some point.
There's a question here. It says, I think this is going back to the SHOSEI discussion that we were having, but it says, do you think you would feel like people expect you to keep on pushing the technical level, or would you be fine with you going more creative side of things? Oh, no, yeah, in reference to us, if we had SHOSEI's level. But I think that's definitely a thing, though. Like, I'd imagine that, like, for example, Mike not wanting to go to gatherings and stuff when he was like at certain periods, because he just get hassled. People would just hassle him and just be like, "Oh, do quad cork, do quad cork," and it's like, fucking, just let the man live. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him do his thing. Let him enjoy the gathering.
No, I totally get that. Like, even just for me, then I always, I think gatherings were more fun before I went and a load of people knew who I was.
Yeah.
Like, now it's less fun. Well, the tricking at gatherings is definitely less fun with all the interruptions and people asking you to do this, do that, people trying to battle you on the floor, and just all the different interruptions. Whereas when you're more anonymous, then you have the freedom to just kind of have fun and train.
Yeah, the pressure side of things gets to me a fair bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got it under control somewhat, but like I do feel the pressure when I'm at gatherings and stuff, especially if I'm a guest, because like I don't want to let anybody down. Like, I wouldn't want to let the gathering host down. I don't want to let some kid that's looking up to me being like, "Oh, you know, this guy's good," to a certain point, and then I turn up and I'm having the worst session of my life. Because I have had that so many times where like I've been training and I felt incredible. The second I step on that floor at the gathering, it's like I've never tripped before in my life. I'm like falling down on cork and all this kind of shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I hate it.
Well, Isa Wu said, "The folly of being a celebrity." And that sums it up perfectly, because in tricking, it's like you got to deal with all the bad sides of like you were a celebrity, but not a good
You don't get all the money.
You don't have a load of money. You don't have a mansion. You still have to work some job and barely have enough to get by, but you have to deal with all of the stress like you're a celebrity. So it's not the best position right now, but I'm sure in the future it'll become more worthwhile. But yeah.
Also, having said that, because I do agree with what you say, because you know, where's my personal masseuse that I have every single day? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you at?
Like I'd happily deal with. I don't mind if people are taking the piss out of me all the time, everyone judging my tricks all the time, and all of that stuff. If I was like making loads of money, then I'd be like, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
but the fact
like,
that you got to deal with it and not have that kind of. Yeah,
but having said that, it is also a nice thing, and like I love the fact that like when I do meet people, like it's crazy to me. Like if someone asks me to sign something, even now I've done it like thousands of times, but even now I'll walk into a gathering or whatever, and people ask me to sign some shit. I'm like, bro, do you know who I am? I'm just some kid from Dudley who does these flips. It's such a nice thing, and it's like
big nos.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, leave the nos, man. Oh, don't make me cuss you down.
Next sampler, man.
Oh yeah, shit. I was enjoying
We
that.
know you're from Dudley.
What? Fuck you, man.
Nos.
If I want to talk about being from Dudley, I'm gonna talk about being from Dudley. You big cuckle.
Oh yeah, kakala.
Oh wait, Nelson said the worst is when people want to take a picture with you and you're super high or drunk. Bro, do you know how many pictures? I feel like every picture that's ever taken with me at a gathering, I'm usually shirtless because it's midway through a session, and I'm so sweaty and I look like I'm actually on every drug. It's bad.
Yo, I got the funniest one in Italy. There's a picture of me somewhere where I'm in a towel because I just got out the shower, and this kid's like, "Can I have a pic?" And I'm like, yeah, and I'm wearing a towel around my waist. That was the time to do it. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch some Zen. Kajihara.
I love this. Oh, shut up, man. Not
Sorry
you,
the racism.
The thing. Oh yeah. Also, you should probably stop that.
Nah, it's all right. I'm brown enough to get away with it.
I know. It's a shame I'm not.
Nah, you're not.
Wait, once I'm in the sun, right? I look Algerian.
You're not brown enough to get away with it, mate. Look at him go.
That was really fucked. Whoa!
It's sped up for some reason. Or is it?
Oh, is it sped up?
Is it speeding up and slowing down? I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely sped up.
Yeah.
Whoa! Imagine he was moving fast. This is future then. This is what it's gonna look like. Look at that. Triple full round, swing double cork round. That is busted. I couldn't have imagined that would even really be possible like 6-7 years ago. Mad
thing. Wow, that's weird. Look at that. Look at that. The fucking full.
See, but it's like with this skill level, It's like if you're so good at full in that you can do a cheat 9 in it, why would you want to do it in a combo with 2 cheat 9s and a hook? Like, there's so much you could do with it.
To be fair, I feel
I know
like
he's
it's
just
stuff
doing
like
it
that.
for the sake of it, but
Well, no.
yeah,
I
it's
was
just so
thinking
much.
maybe it's a case where he needs to do it for fucking
It's
control
just hype.
purposes. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
he might just be falling down. He's like, oh, let me just keep the control, do something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know though.
yeah.
If I had that skill level, well, like I have done now, I would probably just retire the cheat 9. I'm in the process of still retiring a bunch of tricks.
I think
just focus on stuff I actually really want to be good at.
someone said I keep trying to move Omid's head. I know, so do I. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What was I gonna say though? I think I'm gonna be retiring hook kick soon.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm gonna
There
retire.
isn't any need. Yeah, there isn't any need. That was
You
did that so well.
Whoa, look at him jumping!
What do you even call that thing? Cart full shuriken. I don't know what you'd even call it.
Yeah, was it? I don't understand. Some of the touchdown stuff. I mean, obviously this is sped up. I don't know why it's doing this.
Yeah, I don't know. It always, for me, it plays it in slow motion. For you, it seems to speed it up. I don't know
I feel
why.
like the slow-mo is more useful though.
Yeah, it is.
This is just fucked. It can't keep up.
The super fast Cali roll.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're absorbing it faster. We're being efficient with how we watch tricking.
Oh, he's stressing me out. Every time I want to talk about something, he's done 3 more combos.
Look at him go.
What? Go on, G. Go on.
All right. Izza said, "What do you mean by retire a trick?" By retire a trick, I mean just don't even do it anymore, because it's one of those. It's like, what is there to be gained from me doing a cheat 9? It's worthwhile. It would be cool and impressive if I did a cheat 9 as good as Ilya. So, and if I could put so much work in that my cheat 9's as good as Ilya. Or I could put that same amount of work into a trick that not everyone in tricking does. So it's like, you do have a limited amount of time. You can only train a limited amount of things. So if you're going to get really good at something, why put that effort into getting really good at something that everyone's good at? Why not put it into something that no one's good at yet, but you would like to see done well? And for me, like Gainer Helicoptero, people can do it kind of well, but I don't think, this is my personal opinion, because I always think, you should try and get things, like make things the best in your personal opinion. And the way I do Gainer Helicoptero on a trampoline, I prefer the aesthetic of that to any Gainer Helicoptero I've ever seen from anyone. Now, that's just my personal opinion. So that's something that's worth me putting hella work into to get that nice on the floor. Because then, in my opinion, I'll have the best looking Gainer Helicoptero. That doesn't mean everyone else will agree, and that doesn't matter. What matters is if it's the best in my opinion. So I'm going to put the work into that. And that's way more worthwhile than me practicing a cheat 9. So that's why I'd retire tricks. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Running off the back of that, I'm just going to... Well, no, I was looking at the comments. I'm just going to run off the back of that and just say, I'm probably going to... I don't know. I've been working on hook kick, and I've been working on a video for hook kick recently. But once I'm done with that, I might just retire it after a bit, because I will do it individually, but I'll retire it in my tricking combos. I don't particularly want to. I don't want to just be doing combos with a hook kick in, unless there's just not that much merit to it. Because like even before, when I was a lot younger, I was way worse at hook kick at that point, but it was because I hadn't trained it. Now I got worse at hook kick because when I got surgery and stuff, my hips were really tight and all this kind of shit, and I just didn't really do anything about it because I was like, fuck it, like I just gotta do what I gotta do. But my approach now is just gonna be like only just doing like vanish side swipes out of stuff, or coming up with a more interesting way of transitioning in between tricks.
Well, it's just think anytime there's not really a time where you would do, when you do hook into touchdown raise, that could always be some form of transition from the trick before into a side swipe semi front swing into touchdown raise. And that's just so much cooler. So why not always be training that and make that the new normal? Make that what you do super comfortably. Because every time you're training that hook, touchdown, raise, you could have been doing something more interesting. And yeah, like you said, it is a good move to train just standing hook kick, like spinning hook kicks by themselves, because that's going to help with all your hyper hook tricks and any hook trick. But doing it in a combo,
well,
you can always just do something that's more interesting or better. So why not just do that?
There was a period for me where I already kind of did this, and this was years and years ago. But do you remember, I didn't really do hook kick because I would just do vanish sideswipe. All I would ever do was cheat 9, vanish sideswipe, or cheat 9, vanish raise, or cheat 9, vanish envigado. And that was mainly what my combo structures were like. It would be like, okay, I need to think of a round trick that I can do here so that I can then vanish into the sideswipe. Or now, because there's so much more that I could do like vanish master screw, or I could do vanish GMS and then do touchdown raise. It's like, it opens up a whole new world. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Side swipe. You could even do like a direction, like kind of a hop into a front swing out if you landed incomplete. Like there's so many different ways you could go into it. So why do the hook? Brian said it could also be accessibility. Confined in my tile living room, I probably won't be doing side swipes.
I'm a bit lost
but that's kind of I am too. I think he's saying for doing the hooks in combos, but then if I was confined to that small space, I'd probably I don't know. You train individual hooks and individual tricks and small.
I think it's still.
I just wouldn't be training my combos in that space. So
I don't know. I'm still going to be training my hook kicks and stuff like that because it's useful. Like you said, like I'm not just going to retire doing all hook kicks. It's just like spin hook kicks in a combo. Because also, like, let's keep it real. Even though my hook kick is getting better, and hopefully you guys will see that when I release this video because I've been working on it. But yeah, it is getting better. But it's like other tricks that I do look way better. If instead of every single hook kick I've ever done in any combo, I did swipe 9, it would just look way more interesting, because then I'd have to think of a way of transitioning that swipe 9 into a bunch of other tricks. Like, and instead of doing the hook kick, you start removing all of the fluff, as Alex Hunter said.
But that's not saying no one should do it as well.
Yeah, it's just
I think if you've already got a pretty aesthetic hook kick and if you really like doing them, then fair enough. Like if I really like, it's just if I'm going to put something in my combos regularly, I want to be really good at it. So if you do really like hook kicks, then I guess get really good at them so they're great every single combo. What I don't get, which is what a lot of trickers do, is combos with like really bad hook kicks in. And you could say that they're working on the hook kick to get it better, but some people just do the same bad hook kick for like 10 years straight. And it's like either get good at the hook kick or don't do the hook kick is the way I personally see it.
But it's not always that simple, because if you
they might not care, yeah.
Well, also, if you look back at my footage from like 2016, 17, bro, my hook kick is so much better. It's so much better. I'm looking back at this footage, I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck has gone on here? I don't know. But I think it's just, it's a better way of approaching things, because like, no one wants to see my hook kick, even if it is way better, but there's no point. No one wants to see it, myself included. And I do enjoy doing it on its own, but that's the problem. It's like, the reason I enjoy doing it on its own is because it's controlled, and I like the way that it looks. But then when I'm doing it in combos, in order for me to actually...
And it's like, you know that you could be good at it. It's just everything is a time investment. And when you're younger, then you do feel like you have an unlimited amount of time, but you really don't. And especially after you've been tricking for a longer amount of time, like if you've done 5+ years or 10 years, then you realize that if you want to truly be great at a trick, it's something that you can't do in like it takes multiple years to be really good at any single trick. So you have to choose wisely. You don't have that much time. You don't have, like, I know lots of people, especially early on, and I thought the same, was like, oh yeah, well, I want to be really good at everything. I want to just push really hard at everything. And it's like, if you started in your late teens, there's kind of not even time. Even if you spend 2 decades training, like, because you don't progress as fast as a child, because you can't train as many hours as a child, and your body's going to get more fatigued, you get more injuries, all of that. Even in 20 years of training, there's not enough time to get great at everything.
Yeah.
So get great at the things you really want to get great at, you know?
Yeah. But again, though, coming back to the point that I said to you the other day, I think it's a lot of people don't think that way, which is strange to me, because it's like it's the natural progression of thought when you get involved in tricking. That's what I thought anyway, but that's not the case. Most people don't look at it. What do you mean?
It depends on your goals. Lots of people aren't. It depends on how you see tricking and how serious it is. It doesn't have to be. It's like loads of people play games, but not everyone's playing them to try and be a pro gamer.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like some people don't even have goals, but they want to get better. Like it's not just a case where they don't have goals and it's because they're just like, it's just a bit of fun. It's like a lot of people don't even have the thoughts of like how to get better. Is what I've kind of realized with teaching and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily like, you know, the techniques as to how to get better. It's like they don't have the goal of like, I really want to do this combo. A lot of the time, it's just based on those single tricks.
Well, I don't know. I have people messaging me, asking for advice to get better, who don't see the value in spending $12 on 900 videos to help them get better. So yeah, there's definitely a disconnect where people they think that they want to get better, but how much do they? Because when I really wanted to get better, you know, I was like exhausting every opportunity I had. When I lived on £30 a week, I'd spend £20 of it to go to one extra gym session and then live on noodles and cheap chicken. So like you want to do, if you really, really want to get better, then you do every tiny bit. If you can get a 0.2% increase, then that's worth it, even if it takes you hours of your week. But lots of people don't think that way because they kind of want to get good, but not like that badly, you know?
I wonder why that is though. Do you reckon it's because they don't quite care as much, or they won't allow themselves to care as much? Because I think a big part of it is, especially in the UK, as we've discussed in the past, because of the mentality of like the British culture, it's almost like, well, if you're not part of what everyone else is saying you should be doing, then you kind of, I don't know, it's just so prevalent for people to have this grand dream and then immediately just be like, oh, but I can never do that.
Well, I had a really interesting question kind of on this subject. He's asking if you kind of like really enjoy tricking, but then sometimes you don't feel like it and you have breaks of not tricking, then are you truly passionate? Can you be truly passionate and still do that? Is true passion always wanting to do the thing all of the time, non-stop? And after thinking about it, I came to like, no, I think you can lose motivation and want to have those breaks, or sometimes people even stop, but you were still truly passionate about tricking. I think there's just a number of obstacles in the way of people pursuing their tricking. Like you've got one, people think, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to make a career out of it. And society's telling you that your career is the most important thing. And if you don't sort out getting a career straight away, you're going to be poor and on the streets and all of that. Another one's like expectations from your parents, like just other family and friends. Like they think you're wasting your time. So you're afraid to say like, oh, I really want to do this. I know I'm spending my time in the right way, because if everyone else thinks that you're wasting your time, it takes a lot of like, you got to have a lot of belief in yourself, and you've got to be you got to be a pretty strong, independent person if you're going to go ahead and pursue something when everyone else thinks it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then the other one, well, just last point with this one. The other one is like, if you want to be, people want to be cool. Everyone wants to be cool and fit in, and practicing flips by yourself in the park, especially in the rain, it's not seen as cool. It's weird. So they don't want to be seen as weird. So it's all of those things stop people from pursuing it. I don't think it's a lack of passion in most cases.
Do you think there's levels of passion?
I think there's levels of passion, but I think the passion grows once you get those obstacles out of the way.
Well, this is the thing. I've always said that passion is like a marriage. It's like a relationship that leads to marriage. Because when you first get into a relationship, you're not all of a sudden like, okay, I'm in love with you, let's get married, when you've known the person for like a couple minutes. It takes, you go on the first date and then you go on the second date. And then the more that you do with this person, you tend to want to do more and more with them. And then it's like, you get used to seeing each other like a couple times a week. And then it gets weird after a certain point when you're not seeing each other like 4 or 5 times a week. And then the same with tricking. Like the same thing happened to me with tricking. So I was going to 1 session a week for a couple of weeks, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to push it. I'm going to go to 2 sessions a week. And then it was 4 sessions a week. And then it was 5 sessions a week. And then it was pretty much every single day for months at a time. And it all happened so fast because you've got to nurture that passion. It's not just an overnight thing. You don't find this shit and then you're in love with it, in my opinion. You just kind of have to treat it like a plant. You gotta let it grow, G.
Treat it like a plant.
Right shit. You gotta grow your fucking passion.
I wanted to go back to a couple of these questions because there was one that I saw earlier from Aiden that I liked. Also, someone said Kojo's Trick Lab keeps declining my card. Can it just DM me about that and we'll get it sorted.
Yes,
okay. So, where is it? What he said? Okay, I'm currently a ninja/parkour coach, but I don't think it will be enough in the future. So, I think, and this has kind of been my philosophy since I was like 16 years old. So kind of in my first year of tricking, then I just kind of believed this, and I still believe it now. And everything that's happened in my life has just confirmed this over and over again. I think if you really pursue what you want to do, then you don't really need to worry, as opportunities are just going to keep presenting themselves. So yeah, maybe you're just working in a like parkour ninja gym, but you can turn that into much more. Like, what are you doing while you're there? You're developing coaching skills, which can be really valuable. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to leverage in a way where it makes you a decent amount of money, but it can be done. But in order for you to do that, then you have to be in the top like 1% or even the top 0.1%. So you this only works if you're really good. So if you get really, really good at tricking, then there's going to be a load of different ways you can make an income from it. So you have to commit to actually doing that is the main thing. And a lot of people don't. They kind of want to live this life where their passion supports their life, but they don't want to put the work in. So you've got to be putting in that level of work. You've got to be prepared to, even if it costs you nearly all of your disposable income to get an extra 0.1%, then you do it. Even if you have to walk for 5 miles in the rain to improve 1% faster, you do it. You got to just be prepared to do anything to get even that tiniest bit better. And then the thing is, it will lead you to it.
The thing is, you don't even necessarily have to do those things. Like, but if you're prepared to do them, then that will give you all of the opportunity that you're ever going to need. Because like for most people, like, I don't know, some of the hardships that we would have had to have faced, especially in the earlier days when things weren't quite as easy because like, you know, lack of house and all that kind of thing, like / me not having a car and like, you know, having to travel like to get to the gym that would take an hour and a half every single day, and then working in the gym so that I was getting free sessions and stuff and just barely getting paid any money and all this kind of shit just to be able to make it happen, and then getting to the point where you can actually turn that on its head and start making it more of a profitable thing. If you're willing to do whatever it takes, and then you do have that passion that will push you forward in order for you to actually achieve the things that you say you want so bad. Because that's something that I've never really understood. Like for example, if someone says, "Oh, I want to lose weight," if someone says that to me, someone that I know, and they're like, "Oh, okay, so I want to lose a little bit of weight. Like, what do I have to do?" I'm happy to go through it with them. But then if immediately after that they don't do anything about it, I kind of lose my interest in it, because it's like, well, you clearly don't want it that bad. So why are we even having this conversation in the first place? I have no patience for stuff like that. It kind of, I don't know, it just aggravates me a little bit, because do you want it or do you not want it? And
go on.
I know it's not always that straightforward, but you kind of, I don't know, it's just choices. Like, if you're going to say something, then actually like have some weight behind it in order for you to carry on. And that's something that I always try and pride myself on, and it's helped massively.
You have to believe that it can happen as well. If you don't think you're ever going to be able to make a living from like tricking or whatever, then what's going to motivate you to keep working towards that? So from when I was 16, from when I first started tricking, then I fully believed that I would be able to make a living from tricking. And now I fully believe that in the future I'll be able to be like, and my goal isn't to be rich, but I would like to own a house somewhere in the sun and have a spring floor. But I think just anyway, I think I probably will become a millionaire because of tricking in the future, for sure. Because there's so many opportunities and you learn so much from getting really good at a skill. Then
But
it
that's
makes
the thing, it doesn't have to be,
skills.
it doesn't have to be directly from tricking.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
the thing.
the skills and the experiences that I've had as a result of tricking, I know what is going to cause me to be as successful as I imagine myself to be. And it's also like, it shows you what happens when you put the work in. And that's something that, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to find a thing where you can really see, it's a tangible thing where you can see the results of putting in literally a decade almost of your life. And having done that now, I kind of look back and I'm like, okay, if I apply this exact same approach of learning how to learn the things that I'm trying to do, and I work as hard as I need to, I know it's not going to be a quick turnaround, because I was always really impatient with tricks and stuff like that. But now I have a completely different approach, because it's like, if I'm getting frustrated with something, whether it be with business or anything, I look at it as like, okay, well, you've been doing this for how long? You get to complain when you've done it for a decade and you've got nowhere with it. But then, even then, it's not as cut and dry as just putting a decade into it and just being super successful.
But even if you fail, like, even when you fail at things, you still learn a lot. So that's why I think the most important thing is just to try really hard at whatever it is you're doing. Yeah. Because even if it fails, you still learn something. But yeah, one of the things that inspired me to like believe that and that I can make a living from tricking was, there's a really short video that's really impactful from Alan Watts. I like a lot of what Alan Watts said, so I'm sure most people do. But there's one called "What If Money Didn't Matter?" And that's basically saying, because everyone wants to have a good amount of money, and everyone's always thinking, well, what job can I do to have enough money? And really, if you think of it the other way around, like, why do you want the money? You want it so you can do what you want to do. Well, do what you want to do and then figure out a way for that to make you money. Because once you're doing what you want to do, you no longer need the money. You wanted the money so that you could do what you wanted anyway. So you've already made it. You don't have to keep chasing it. You can just be there. You're doing what you want. And that's why I've been perfectly comfortable living with barely any money and cycling 100 miles a week when I used to have to cycle 10 miles to the gym, 10 miles back. I was perfectly fine with it because I was doing what I wanted all the time. Like, it didn't bother me at all not having much. And I knew it would work out in the end, and it is.
So someone said, if money didn't matter, people would pursue passions more. However, that is true. But at the same time, I believe that what you deem to matter is a choice. Because, like, if you look at, for example, like, if you look at like an awkward situation, I believe that that's a choice as to whether you find that uncomfortable or not. Obviously, depending on the extent of what the awkward level is. But it's like, I believe that no matter what your circumstance, you can choose. Generally, anyway, for most people, you can look at the circumstances that you've been given naturally through your birth and your life and all that kind of thing. And most people are fortunate enough to then be able to have the time or the space or the situation to be able to then pursue their passion. And even if it means that you have to work a part-time job and not have that much money, but you really get to pursue your passion, then it's just a choice. Like, what are you actually going to spend your time and your money on? Because for me, it was always just, all of my decisions, most of my decisions anyway, throughout my life have been based around what is going to be the most beneficial thing for me in order to pursue the things that I love. And obviously, tricking it's kind of dictated most of my life choices. I dropped out of college when I was 16, 17. I moved out of my parents' house. I didn't go home for years. I didn't go and do any of the things that, like, I don't know, most people, like, I didn't even see, I don't know, it created a little bit of a rift in my relationship with my family, because I wasn't doing exactly what they told me to do. But it was like, I'm not going to live somebody else's life and just spend my life being unhappy. So now I'm at a point where I don't have to worry about that. And eventually people come around. And I'm not saying go and, you know, fly off the rails and do, you know, disobey your parents or anything like that. But, like, I had people literally telling me that everything that I was doing was just a waste of my time. And then the second I started being able to make money from it and travel from it and do the things that I love and also turn it into somewhat of a career, it kind of changes. So if you're strong enough to look at the things that everyone's telling you can't do and believe in yourself, then you can make things happen.
The crazy thing is, like, now this doesn't go for everything, but most degrees, like, you could kind of leverage the 3 or 4 years you'd spend doing the degree. That much tricking experience, you could turn that into more money than a lot of jobs that a degree would get you. Like, unless you get in one to be like a doctor or dentist. But when people just get random like history degree or something,
then they go into HR afterwards.
You probably could make more than that starting salary by becoming a performer or even running your own classes. You can make a lot of money from that. If you're renting out the facility and if you spent those few years instead of studying, building a base of students, every one of those students is on a direct debit. Every class, you're getting like a percentage of the overall. So you're making like over 100 every class. You can even be making like £200 every class. Like, you can make more money from doing what you want. That's the crazy thing. And you're not in debt either. But I wanted to quick fire a couple of these questions. One of them was, how important is filming tricks to get better? It blows my mind that people don't film their tricks. I mean, you don't have to, but if your goal is to get better, it's just insane not to. In my opinion, I think that there's no way, like, you could argue maybe it doesn't help that much, but there's no way you're going to be benefited by not filming your tricks. So why not film them? I film every single trick I ever do, and I watch it back, and I have done since when I first started. And yeah, I think it helps an insane amount. There's another question. There's one for me. Kojo, are you going to start sponsoring trickers like Adrenaline? Now, that's something I thought I would do in the past, but now my thinking on that has changed a lot. I don't particularly want to. Like, I think there's better things that I could spend money on. Like, one of them that me and Omid were talking about yesterday, like, we want to do more tours. And
we want to sponsor experiences more so than people.
Yeah, like, rather than paying some guy, then I'd rather pay for like some crazy tour and flying out like 5 or 6 trickers for this tour, and then there's like videos that come from it, and it's a really fun experience. I'd rather pay to make things like that happen. That's one of the main things I want to do with KTL in the future. I want to make really fun tricking things happen, like just crazy trips and events, and like challenge ones. Maybe you get a bunch of different teams, and it's whoever can make the best sampler, and they've got like 48 hours. Like they did that with free running. I want to fund stuff like that rather than just sponsoring some guy, because I think that's much more valuable to the community and much more fun and interesting. So I'd rather do that than just pay some one tricker, you know?
Yeah, that's the same for me. That's what I want to. That's what the direction I want to take SHOSEI. Like, I don't necessarily think it's going to be beneficial for anybody, unless I could give people a salary so that they could train, all that kind of thing. But that's not where I'd like my role to be. I'd like to push projects and things that are going to be happening. Oh yeah, see, Brian's saying same. I'm really into funding projects. Well, we might have some things up our sleeve that we're kind of streaming and we're working on at the moment. Yeah. And we need to remember to speak to Brian about that.
Thanks, Aiden. Aiden said, as a customer and fan, I prefer KTL does that. Well, I appreciate that. I think most people would, to be honest. I think most people would. When they actually see the finished project, if we get, like Big, that I want there to be more things like that. More like crazy big things happening in tricking, and then awesome after movies. And I want those after movies to be on KTL, because then if the movie's on KTL, then that really justifies like KTL spending thousands on making it happen. So we're kind of getting to a point where we can make that shit happen, which would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you.
It's been a fun one.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Much love to everyone who's watching live. Peace.